This one is for my secondhand Disney shoppers. If you like to thrift, if you like eBay, if you like secondhand shopping. Okay, so this is a whopper. I love to thrift. You guys know I'm in the antique shop all the time for work. All right, first, do you like my shirt? eBay. I am not big into Disney garments. I think this is maybe only my second Disney shirt, third. I don't know, don't have very many. eBay, $6. You know how I do. I only have one other eBay purchase. Do you guys have any of these green boxes? I think this is only my third or fourth WDCC. She does have her certificate of authenticity. These ones, it's important to me that they come in the box, the original box. I got her for a steal. Do you know who she is? Symphony Hour. Her name is Clara Cluck. I think there's 6 or 7 characters in the Symphony Hour animated Disney short that I watched all growing up, lots of reruns. She stands out to me. I should go back and rewatch it. I don't know if she has like attitude, if she gets feisty. I'm not sure. Other than, I mean, she's also just beautifully animated. She's been on my wish list for so long, so I will just periodically hop on eBay like I do. She was at a fantastic price. I made an offer, he accepted. I was so stinking happy. I love her so much. It's everything. It's the not a very famous character. It's super, the character is super vintage. I think this one was made in 1994. She's flawless. A lot of times the WDCC, they will tell you the glazing has cracks. No cracks, no chips. I am to the point now, I need to get a glass display case. I can't just put her on a shelf. On a shelf? Look at her! I need a glass shelf. Sorry, display cabinet. So I only got the rest of my life to collect the rest of the Symphony Hour. There's only 2 or 3 I really want, Horace and Clarabelle. The Donald, oh my gosh, the Donald. His price has skyrocketed recently. He's just going ham on the drums. Perfection, perfection, perfection. I love her. Okay, so that's a really stellar start. Do any of you collect the WDCC? And if you do, why can't I find more videos of people showcasing their collection of these guys? I can find some on Instagram, but it's the gram, right? There's not really long form content. I want some close-ups. I want some details. I want the emotion. Where are my collectors at? Okay, we're going to head to an estate sale that was in my neighborhood. They had loads and loads of sheet music. So of course, you know, I lost my mind, 3 caballeros. And then of course, double whammy, I open it up and it's 1946. Copyright 1941 and 1943. And let's see, so that's this one. Look at it, I don't know why do I love this stuff? It's not in great condition, it's really beat up. Why do I love it so much? Okay, and then this guy. This one's in better condition. It's not as tore up. I think the copyright is still 1946. Blue Bayou, I wasn't familiar with. I recognize Casey at the Bat. Oh, my favorites down here. Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet. And then I think it's Willie the Whale from Silly Symphony. I want him in my collection so bad. Oh, and look! Peter from Peter and the Wolf. So yeah, it's old, it's ephemera. I like collecting. What don't I like? I like collecting everything, right? Unique. I don't have anything like it. You know I had to have it. Okay, let's go. My very favorite thrift store. It's on the other side of town. I don't get there very often. So glad I did this day. This is a Lladro. 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 No box. It's okay. It's a Lladro! And it's mine! Remember when I was telling you I need to have a glass display case? I can't. She's not going on a shelf. A shelf. Look at her. Right? Me, who's not a princess collector? I can't believe I have her. And the coolest part, it was the anniversary of the release date of Cinderella. The day she debuted. I found her at the thrift store. So of course I thought it was serendipitous. The good Lord was, he just gave me a present that day. What? You can tell me I over-spiritualized that, I don't care. Even when I told my husband, I was like, baby, today is Cinderella's birthday. I was like, do you really think? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. He's like, God did that for you. It's a silly thing, I know. But I love it, and I'm grateful. Oh, and just so you know, if you are gonna look up Lladro, there's Lladro, and then there's the Lladro for Disney, so it's like a subset, N-A-O. So there's Lladro, and then there's Lladro for Disney. They're not the same. They are the same. You'll see what I mean. I believe she's still in production. So if you love her, I do think she's still available at a fairly economical price. Okay, putting her away. What? So I don't collect princesses, there's Cinderella, and I don't collect plush. Who's a liar? Me. Okay, we're gonna start here. Do you guys hear that? I don't know if it used to rattle or if it's always made that noise. The tags have been taken off him and there's no other marking. We think he's a Disney store plush. This TikTok, like those eyes, like that right there. That's a crocodile that's taunting Hook. I had to have it. I had to have it. And he was pretty clean, but he wasn't nasty and he didn't smell gross. Buying old plush is like, that is a questionable thing, right? I buy a lot of secondhand stuff. Hard goods. Because they can be sanitized. I'm telling myself, this thing is not disgusting. This is Hoppopotamus, for those of you who don't know, and she's a Wuzzle. Do you guys remember the Wuzzles? It was the very first Disney in the Afternoon cartoon. And I went back and tried to watch some of it. The song, of course, hit the way, way back. But it was tough trying to get through an episode. I'm like, oh, this is... Once that song is in your head, with the Wuzzles. Yeah! Oh my gosh. I don't know if it was one season, two, it was very few seasons. There's not a lot of merch out there. I think they only had one run of plushies like this, 1984, 1985. I'm at that age where I now say things like, they don't make them like they used to. They don't. Like, she's not mangled. She's not torn. She's completely like, she's sturdy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. She's sturdy and looks clean. Look at that tag. You know we're dealing with something old here. Look at her. She's intact. She's not mangled. I did pay a little more than thrift store prices for her, but I know she's hard to find. In decent condition, she's hard to find. Do I have Wuzzles fans in the house? Hoppopotamus. Hippo? Bunny for the hop, right? But wings? Did they all have wings? I know Bumble Lion did, but he was a bumblebee. Anyway, I got 2 plush and I don't know who I am. I'm gonna say Wuzzles are obscure. I feel like Wuzzles are terribly obscure. So you know me, old, vintage, obscure. Moving on. Officer Giggle McDimples. Toy Story 4. Brace yourself.
And check. Follow Pet Patrol protocol. Yes. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
I wanted to add a Giggle McDimples to my collection. And I think the reason I walked by her and left her so many times is because I wanted a Giggle McDimples at scale. So she'd have been yay big. She's always on Bo Peep's shoulder. This was marked down to $2. And like always, I'm like, okay, if I decide I don't want it, I could sell it. Okay, it's my favorite booth at my vendor mall. It's Kim Possible.
She's a basic average girl.
I was so bummed that she was just in her cheerleader outfit. I wanted her in her superhero outfit. In the box, people, and Rufus! This is perfect. I love that he is so happy. The tie, the maracas, the sombrero. I mean, sidekicks, right? Like, he's up there with, like, lovability like Miko. The feistiness is there. The hilarity, the personality, the, like, love you so much, don't mess with my girl. Even though he's not Kim Possible. Ron Stoppables, right? Ron Stoppable's pet. I remember her being on in the background, like it was background noise, or channel surfing. And I remember thinking, who's this sassy redhead? I always have a thing for a redhead. My mom's a redhead, so I'm pretty sure that's why I love a redhead. 2 of my very dearest BFFs, redheads, Amy and Marlis, shout out. And I think about like my obsession with, yes, I loved The Little Mermaid. I was 8 years old. Part of your world, I mean, come on. But like Merida, I just love me a redhead. Rufus, come on! So I did my research. This show was on the air for 4 seasons. Yes, 2002. So that means what? I was 21 years old. And for me, I was really just leaning into my alcohol problem. I don't say that casually. It's real, it's true. I am now sober. I had my first big boy job and was making, you know, big girl money. And why am I saying all this? I think my slogan for the channel is never grow up. And of course, I don't mean that to the extreme, like never become responsible and never pay your own bill. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's interesting how we push away these things, these little things that bring us joy. And I can't help but notice the pattern. The older we get, the more miserable we become. That's not true of everyone. It was certainly true of me. And then when I started this channel, I was in a dark spot and I had to do really simple things to find joy. I just couldn't find joy anywhere. I had this one little thing that brought me joy, but it was also something that the world tells me I should be ashamed of. And it was these cute little Jim Shore figurines my dad had bought me, but I didn't have them displayed because God forbid someone come to my house and see them. Oh my gosh, what if they make fun of me? But I treasured them, so I had them in their original boxes, tucked away in a corner, in a basement, the bottom of a closet. You know, they were safe and I would not get rid of them, but I couldn't embrace them, right? So that was one of the things I did. My husband encouraged me. That specifically was like, take them out. Take them out, do something, do whatever you have to do. And it was fantastic and wonderful encouragement. And I am so grateful that my husband, I truly do have Prince Charming. So yeah, that turned into a weird rant. But the connecting dots there are when I looked at the year these were released. So somewhere between 2002 and 2006, and that period of life where I was a grown-up and so excited to do the grown-up things. And now here I am realizing how stupid some of that was. Just how dumb, how ridiculous, how damaging some of that advice can be. I think it's like everything, it's within reason. Do you need to grow up? Yes. Is it my opinion that you need to remain a child in some ways, especially in here? Yes. Impossible. 2 more items on my wish list. I want the full set, and I'm gonna get it. But he had these in box. I love it. Chief Powhatan, Kocoum, and Ratcliffe. A couple years ago now, I came across this on eBay. So silly. It was a full set, all in box, pristine condition. I passed it up. Because that was before I learned Pocohontas. There's another one. That one was on repeat in my house. But my point is what? I've learned I'm drawn to so much Pocahontas is what I should say. I guess you can only kind of see it. It was one of the first pieces of art I got. I know it is technically just a movie poster from when it was released. But oh man, just my heart. Oof. This movie just hits me in the feels. And I think it was released in '95. So that means I was 13, 14 years old. And I'm thinking that was the last time it was okay to be a kid, right? Because by the time I turned 15, that's really when I started learning how to abuse alcohol. Growing up, right? You just wanted to grow up too fast. For me, I made all the stupid choices, and maybe that's what it is. It's why we love collecting, right? It brings you back to a time. A simpler time, a more innocent time, a happier time. Anyway, what do I have left here? Little people. This is where it started. Flora. I was antiquing a couple years ago and I found the full set. And I'm so mad I didn't buy it. Flora, Fauna, Merryweather, and Aurora. Did you guys watch my Funko Pop haul? I have the Jumbo Maleficent. When I have the 3 of them, it's gonna look so great. These little itty bitties standing next to them. Come on now, you know it's gonna look good. I will occasionally watch them online. You know the story, and it's just like, it's a secondhand toy. I don't want to pay that much. I don't want to pay for shipping. So I found her for 50 cents, and I'm hopeful I can find the other 2 that way. That explains Flora. What about these 2? I'm so glad you asked. I would love to tell you. I love love. Did you know? My favorite Disney couples are Tito and Georgette from Oliver and Company, Flo and Ramon. Did you know Ramon and Tito are voiced by the same voice actor? Coincidence? Nani and David. And Grimsby and Carlotta. I know you're probably thinking, those aren't like really, they are to me, okay? To me. Why am I on this rant? My one and only trip to Disneyland ruined me. It was a window display and it was Buzz salsa dancing and he's whipping around this one. That moment I was like, I want that. I want a display like that in my own collection. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a dancing Buzz and a dancing Woody set to music or dancing Jessie. But man, that would be cool, wouldn't it? In the meantime, I have these little 50-cent placeholders that have the spirit of my vision. Thank you for tolerating that. More Toy Story, and my last item from the booth. Hamm. Pez. Why? Because it's Hamm. Hamm and Rex. Zurg. Will it ever stop? I can take him out, right? Oh, worth it! Look at this sweet baby. John Ratzenberger just had a birthday. April something or other. April 6th, maybe? My Hamm collection is so adorable. I love a grumpy Gus. Okay, we're gonna leave my shop and go to the Goodwill bins. I've got another Pez. Another grumpy Gus. I know, I got a thing for Pixar. It's Randall. Didn't you guys go to the bins? I love the bins. The bins are an acquired taste. I personally recommend a mask and gloves. Gosh, don't dig around in the bins without gloves. This is what I love the most about the bins. I may want one piece in an entire playset. Like, I'm pretty sure this Mei Mei came with a full-on playset, and I'm not interested in the whole playset, and I certainly don't want to pay for it. But somebody else bought their kid the playset, they got sick of their toys, and then I can buy this for pennies. So it makes me so happy. So happy to have Mei Mei represented. I am daydreaming about how to have a turning red display. And Mei Mei in her panda form makes me very happy. And look at her, she looks so mad. It just dawned on me now. I was like, oh, she's a grumpy Gus in this one. Okay, now we've got a Bruno, and I think this is just a McDonald's Happy Meal toy, I think. Check out his bowl. It's got his prophetic yes or no there. And his creepy little mice. Which, you know, I must totally love Bruno. I'm terrified of mice. I'm a cliche when it comes to mice. It's embarrassing. It's totally true. Me and mice can't. So for me to even have a toy with a little mouse is a little bit creepy. But it's Bruno, and I identify so strongly with the black sheep of the family. No one excommunicated me, but my heart goes out to this guy. So anyway, another toy from the bins. This guy, I knew that I wanted a Tuk Tuk of some flavor. There's a really cute plush out there of him. I've actually sold a number of them in my booth. But he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect. The Funko Pop was kind of neat because he's rolled up in his like armadillo ball. That is cute. But again, I didn't think it was perfect. I have a vision for this one. We'll have to make a video if it actually happens. But again, playset, toy, one piece of, I would have never wanted the whole set. So I'm so happy to go to the bins and rummage through these toys and find these little treasures. And yeah, so this is my first representation for Raya and my first for turning red. I love the bins. Okay, what else? You're gonna judge me. Why? You can find these things anywhere and everywhere for pennies. And my dad, if he's watching, he's probably gonna go, "Shannon Marie, you have those at home." And he's right. Whichever ones I had, he probably still has. The collector gene does not fall far from the tree. I almost said hoarder, but is it denial? Is it the truth? I don't believe I'm a hoarder. I think I'm a collector. Video for another day. Anyway, what is with me and these VHS tapes, right? Am I ever gonna, no, I'm not gonna watch them. I have a dream that one day I will do a simple display with the VHSs. Even if it's something as simple as just having these all stacked up into a tower. I think it would make an interesting display. And, you know, these are archaic. So that's a piece of history. They're certainly not hard to find. They are hard to find in decent condition. So when I'm at the bins and I can pick them up for pennies, I try to only pick up the ones that are not mangled. So all the edges are nice. They're not broken. You all know. You come across them all the time, or they're in your basement or your parents' house, and they should be in the garbage can. And the other thing is I don't have a single thing to represent this movie. I think I might crack and get some of the Funko Pops because the Funko Pops are awesome. They're amazing. This dude in particular, the villain, I don't even know his name. They're all amazing. I think the only character I'd really be interested in this cat, because why? He's like a side character. Don't know their names. I do know her Funko Pop, the little mouse, the little girl mouse, adorable. I think when the Pops came out, I couldn't remember anything about this movie, so I went to go watch it, and I couldn't. First of all, it was too creepy. The villain was really creepy. And then second of all, I thought this detective dude, he was written so arrogant, it was really rubbing me the wrong way. What did you guys think of The Great Mouse Detective? Does this main character, the detective, does he grow on you? Does he have a character arc that somehow redeems him to us? In the meantime, I'm collecting cheap, perfect condition VHS to one day build a tower. That's all I got for now. Still at the bins. Couldn't believe it when I found it. It's porcelain, ceramic, not a single chip. I'm not 100% sure how old it is. We think it's the 70s based on the stamp on the bottom that says made in Japan. Some of you may think, who cares, Shannon? I do. I've noticed, I think this print in particular, they've remade it recently. In the last couple years, I think I saw this being produced again. So to see that logo of made in Japan, I was like, oh, I got an old one. Of course, that's all I want, an old one. An old one in perfect condition from the Goodwill bins. I love to thrift. Okay, so what's next? Oh, we're going back to my favorite thrift store, the one on the other side of town. I found these. Can you see that? And I'd never seen them before. We've got Donald Duck, Pinocchio, and Tinker Bell. I still am having a heck of a time finding any information on these guys. This amber plastic, and they're just plastic. I don't know how to explain it. You can tell the material, these are not recently made. And then there is a stamp, Walt Disney Productions, but it doesn't say where it's made. So when I do a search, the only thing I can find is maybe the 70s. I hemmed and I hawed. You knew I had to get the Donald Duck. Of course, I'm not gonna walk away from the Donald. They were $5 a piece. They were in a glass case at the thrift store. And I'd never seen them before, so I was like, doing it. But it was the rarity. The fact that I had never seen them before, that's what got me. Yeah, I don't love this Tinker Bell. Like, I don't know, it's just, that's what got me to purchase. The Tinker Bell and the Pinocchio are kind of like, meh. What can you tell me about these? Who made them? When were they made? Let me know if you have these, if you've seen these, any information you have on these. The last stop is my second antique booth. One of my fellow vendors is going to bankrupt me. Yep, Kimmy, I'm talking about you. The first time I walked in there, I bought quite a few items from her booth. She had these awesome Disney puzzles, but I walked in one day and she had these marks, 1950s. I think the 50s and the 60s. I found them on eBay, maybe eBay and the Gram, years ago. And I've been hoping to come across them in the wild because since they're so old, they can be slightly pricey on the secondhand market. And you know me, I'm cheap. So she had these for way too good of a price. So I had to pick one up. Guys, look at these. You can't really see it, but if you're a collector, you know that Mark's logo on the foot there. I want them all. I've got a toy show coming up and I'm hoping to find some more. Okay, what else did I get from Kimmy's booth? Only my second Pluto. And why did I get it? Because it's an Avon bottle from the 70s. This has a buddy. It was in the box. So I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, if that's gonna match my Pluto, and I go up to it, take it out of the box, it's hideous and not in a good way. This is darling, this is cute. It's like even the plastic on the Mickey wasn't the same. And the cap screws off in like the middle of his face. It's just dumb. This little cutie, oh my goodness. Of course I couldn't walk away. Kimmy, you were bad for my pocketbook, but good for my soul. Again, these weren't expensive. It's just I could buy everything in her booth. Okay, and the last thing I bought, unique, never seen it before. My search was not great. What I can tell you is it's from the 80s, 1986. and they're not terribly valuable. But these little markings on it, what do we have? International Philatelic Exhibition, 1986, Chicago. The scene is from A Trip Abroad, based on the Mark Twain story. Viewing the Castle of Hershorn, Magical Kingdom of Disney, LA Olympics. The Mystic Stamp Company, they're still selling stamps. It's pretty affordable. Anyway, different, weird, obscure, had to have it. All right, what'd you think? My secondhand habit. Hobby? Habit? If you've stopped by my channel before, you know it's a habit. If you haven't stopped by my channel before, my name is Shannon and this here is my Wonderland. It is my Disney museum and most of my videos are about acquiring items for the museum. I like to buy old items, I like to buy secondhand, and I also like to buy new. If any of that sounds interesting to you, stick around. I've got a few more hauls coming. A pin haul, so that's some of the new, but some of the older stuff, I picked up a bunch of comics. But I got some playing cards, got some old magazines. Stick around. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.